Guys.
Prediction? Yes, prediction.
Hey. Are you ready? I was born ready.
Obviously, you're a little, aggravated by the line of questioning regarding Canelo.
I don't want to touch this, dirty, so bad. I don't want to touch his name.
I'm working on feeling the art of humbleness. Can you be with me? That's the reason why I'm crying, because I'm not that person no more. And I miss him. But sometimes I feel like a bitch. I don't want that person to come out, because when he comes out, hell is coming with him. And it's not funny at all. It must sound cool, like I'm a tough guy. It's just that I hate that I'm scared of it.
It would be awesome to, be being a great war. Maybe with a Mexican. I have to put the joke.
No, hey.
Thank you. Thank you for playing, man. I appreciate it.
Good timing.
Can't put predictions, man, but I definitely don't want to leave it to the judges.
¡Huepa! Seguimos en vivo, siempre hacia adelante, nunca mirando hacia atrás. Somos LongLiveBoxing en vivo podcast, los tres amigos Manny Marrero,
Sean el Gringo Hicksa.
Yo no hablo español.
Analizando las peleas ustedes como es debido directamente al grano, breaking it down always like it is, like it should be with episode number 71.
In your mouth!
Shout out to our fans. Shout out to all boxing fans, casual and everyone.
Fanboys.
Likes to follow us.
Fanboys.
Help our content.
Manny, are you a fanboy?
I mean, am I a fanboy?
Sometimes.
If you haven't stopped to think about it.
I get that.
Yeah, right. You hesitated a little bit, so.
I mean, you guys are.
He's got Lomachenko draws on.
You guys are trying to bring me to that dark zone that I really seems to be pretty
That's
creepy.
Darth Vader and the Sith Lord.
Vader.
Oh.
My goodness. But, the thing about it is, although we had a great debate, by the way, if you haven't listened to episode number 70, guys, check it out because it's a great debate. I think one of the best debates
greatest
that we've
episode ever.
Different perspectives.
I disagree, but I agree at the same
each other.
time.
And by the way, I didn't see your hand. I did try to, kind of.
Whatever. You left me hanging. That's all good.
It was embarrassing.
You'll see it.
We love you, my friend. We love you, my friend, and we feel that frustration. But this is not about a frustrating episode. This is about some of the things that did happen this year, especially when it comes to Puerto Rican boxing.
Oh,
It's
puertorriqueño.
Celebration.
Saludos a cada boricua. All the
Saludos.
Puerto Rican boxers out there grinding, working hard to get back into action. Puerto Rico
Much love,
was
baby.
back
Big
this
time.
last Friday with some amazing cards in Puerto Rico. We'll break it down in a few minutes, but we want to start with some of the great things that happened. We're trying to enlighten ourselves in this episode and, trying to leave that frustration aside. But we did see some pretty good action fights, with Puerto Rican boxing this year. We did see Sander Sages, by the way.
Sander!
We still love you, Bobby. We hope we can get you back on the show.
Hopefully, we're going to get you back ASAP.
Anytime
In español?
soon. Absolutely.
Por favor.
Gringo is actually saying he will learn Spanish. Va a hablar español el gringo. Eso dice. Vamos a ver si eso es verdad. But we'd love to have you back on the show. We also shout out to Nova, El Supernova also
In
as
the
well.
house.
Supernova. No, Xander's my favorite Puerto Rican boxer, but Nova is also my favorite Puerto Rican boxer.
Is that possible?
Is it possible to have two favorite ones?
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
Wow. I like this world we're living in right now.
Yep.
Wow. Another prospect that is actually becoming almost a contender right now. Orlando Capu Gonzalez. Shout out to the man Capu. Wait.
He's my favorite Puerto Rican prospect. He's my favorite.
He's your favorite Puerto Rican
Yep, him too.
My goodness.
I don't know if I believe him.
He is.
You don't?
He is. Love him. Love Capu. Thank you.
Thank you, Capu.
Okay.
Appreciate your love.
you.
Continue to work hard, man. We're always following you. Also, man, we want to shout out Omar Rosario doing amazing things as
In
well.
the house.
Hey.
What?
He's my favorite too. He's my favorite.
He
really is.
This guy loves
Did
Puerto
that
Ricans.
margarita did something to you?
That's my favorite Puerto Rican
I mean,
prospect.
you guys
right
are
there.
brothers, so it makes sense. But he's your favorite.
My
Absolutely.
favorite.
Goodness,
Yep. Him,
goodness.
Xander, Nova. They're all my favorite.
Okay.
But also, we got to shout out to Brian El Horter Polaco. Papi, I still
yes,
owning
sir.
the shirt. I'm going to send it to you soon, Papi.
Much love.
Apologize for that, but
I don't
we love you.
I don't think I ever told you guys something
What?
about Mr. Polaco. It's my favorite prospect.
Favorite?
Whoa.
All
Man.
of the above. But, the good thing is that these are guys that
Wait,
been on our
wait.
show.
You can't forget about mine. And Lester Bravo.
Oh, Mr. Bravo.
Epa, Nestor
Wow.
Bravo.
He's been my favorite for so long. I can't even. I can't remember how long he's been
I
my
didn't
favorite
understand
for.
your philosophy
Is
here.
this real?
You love them all,
My favorite.
but you're a Mexican. You're supposed to not in the sport.
Oh,
of
I
boxing,
am a
not really.
Mexican, huh?
Huh.
Wow,
That's all right.
This episode is so
but
Puerto
we're
Rican,
talking
he doesn't even
about
know he's
Puerto
Mexican.
Ricans, so we don't care about what you think right now. This is all about the Puerto Ricans. But the plus side is, guys, we had some great actions in the ring. Some of the guys that, haven't made it to the show yet, but, want to shout out Moncho Lebron. Also doing amazing things
Absolutely.
out there.
He will be my favorite. He comes onto the
he
show.
will be your
Hell yeah.
favorite. Yeah. Another big time, it's becoming a big, huge favorite out there. El gran noqueador, I would say. The great knockout artist, Edgar Berlanga.
Oh,
Fighting this weekend. So, man, yeah, shout out to him. Big respects. And that's the thing, we were kind of giving, Manny a hard time before in the previous episode.
always give Manny. a hard
I mean, it's
time.
fun.
I love it.
But we were also giving him a hard time as far as the state of boxing. But, I think part of the reason why he's so positive is because of some of the
He
young
has
fighters we
all these
mentioned.
Puerto Rican boxers
Yeah.
behind
It's the
him.
Puerto Rican wave. It's
Yep.
coming, baby.
Yeah, so tomorrow night, guys, if you don't know, on the
Now you
undercard,
know.
Orverdejo and Nagatami will be witnessing, the 16 knockout in the first round. Could that be?
Hopefully they don't force it on us,
They don't
and
force
it
it on
comes
us?
genuine.
It's
Come on.
It's a weird narrative. I mean, I have to be honest. I mean, don't get me wrong. He has superhuman heavyweight
Power.
punch-out power. He doesn't need a narrative. I mean,
He doesn't. So you knock him out in the second round.
It's okay.
We get to see more Berlanga.
We get to see more
That's
Berlanga. And I
what
know a lot of
want.
people are anxious to see Berlanga
Yeah.
at the distance, but as long as he continues to have
16
that knockout
fights.
power, king,
None of them win over 2 rounds.
I am a fucking monster.
Ah!
By the way, hey, do you know that he's fighting?
you know?
The fighter he's fighting, his name is Ulysses. And
Ulysses!
We know a guy around here that his middle name is Ulysses.
It is not me. It's Hopper.
Manuel Ulises Dominguez.
Manuel Ulises Dominguez is actually how my wife met me, as Ulises.
Ulises?
She had no idea my name was Manuel. Everybody in Mexico, they know me as Ulises. Everybody here in the American States, they know me as
I
Manuel.
didn't know that.
Interesting nugget.
I know it is because
With some sweet sauce.
I didn't really
even,
know that.
Even when we got together with my wife and all my family was calling me Menyo, she had no idea who that was. She's like, "Who's Menyo? Who's Menyo?" I was like, "Oh, Ulises. That's
So
your
you have a
name?
twin brother?
That's my first name."
Can I meet him?
Goodness gracious.
Interesting nugget.
With some
Interesting
sweet
one.
sauce.
But we have a lot of fights that are coming up, and especially also I want to shout out Emmanuel Manny Rodriguez.
Oh, yes.
the opportunity to
it's
fight for a
unfortunate
world
this fight
title right
is-
now against Nonito Donaire.
But damn you, COVID.
Damn you, Covet. See,
I hate you.
know? But
So
still,
much.
Go away. The election's over already.
I know, right?
Conspiracy.
But we got a vaccine going on, man. Aren't
Oh,
you
yeah.
excited and happy
It's
about that?
sailing.
I won't be able to afford
It's
it.
nothing but sailing.
But it's okay. They'll still bring fights here to Texas, and we'll still be able to see
keep
them.
all the fights coming to Texas, baby. We're our own country.
Man,
The United States of Texas.
are we getting the fight? Yes.
We're getting all the fights.
We're getting all the
Bring
fights.
all the fights.
It's
here.
it's weird, guys. Like I was mentioning before offline, it's a new problem. Before I was saying like, oh man, I gotta make sure I have money because when a fight comes to town before pre-COVID, that you had to make sure to go because they may not come back. Now you just wait for the fight you want to see.
Exactly. Oh,
Exactly.
you want to watch Spence? He's here. You want to watch Canelo? In Texas. Down the street in San Antonio. Grant Garcia?
Texas.
And Luke Campbell?
That was a
coming here to
no-brainer.
Dallas.
That was a no-brainer. No-brainer, though.
Oh, you want to go to Galveston and watch El Zurdo?
Tigre Lopez.
And El Tigre?
Tigre. Hey, get your tickets. It's gonna be on
Now.
demand,
That's
guys.
right.
Direct
Hey,
TV.
I'm going to be there. I'll be there. I'm headed out there next Friday. I'm leaving at 12 o'clock.
Lucky you.
Man,
Friday.
can't wait. I know you're gonna get some good footage.
Yeah.
If you
Oh,
guys are
man.
there, make sure you get our man a beer. Get 2 of them,
2, 3. At least 3.
please, for our man Hopper.
Bring it, bring it,
por
bring
favor.
it. Bring it, bring
Ay.
it. Bring it. Lots of fights coming out. So talking about Manny Rodriguez, he'll be fighting right now, undefeated Filipino Raymond Gaballo. And it's not going to be a world title, but it's one of those interim.
Interino.
Interino.
Oh wow, I can
Más o
actually-
menos. Por ahí va.
Por ahí
Por
va.
poco.
Ah, más o menos.
El próximo.
El
Something like
próximo
that.
va por el mejor.
Oh.
Right? From the bantamweight. So
¿Qué?
this is a really good opportunity right
Huh?
now. Good fight coming up. It's going to be next Saturday, December 19, and in the Mohegan Sun, Monteville, Connecticut. Hey,
Why not?
Why not?
I mean, it sounds like a hot fight.
hot
so,
fight.
So one thing,
Hot chocolate.
whoa.
Ooh, Coco?
I knew her.
Cheese?
So, quick question for my man Manny. All right, so
Bring
this
it.
is the breakdown wrap up of the Puerto Rican fighters
Boricuas.
in the house.
People.
So clearly, Hopper has lost his mind, and he likes every single Puerto Rican prospect. In
My
the world.
favorites.
They're all his favorite. I didn't even say a name. They're his favorite.
My favorite.
I don't know if he's being sarcastic or not, but he's clearly smiling. He's on something that I want. So, my question to you, Manny, seriously, because I know it isn't easy. I mean, I'll go ahead and say that, I like to watch them all. Outside of Xander and, the knockout artist, the chosen one,
Berlanga.
who is your favorite to watch? Now, they're all fun fighters.
I love them all.
No. We're not letting you off that easy. Which one is your favorite to watch? Like as far as excitement or their style? Not saying the others aren't exciting, but, the favorite, like for me, I'll go ahead and say the one that I enjoyed and I can't wait till he gets back in the ring. Shout out to you, brother, looking at the screen. Nestor Bravo.
Oh,
man.
Hey, no. Nestor was my favorite.
Man.
For sure.
I didn't see
My
that
favorite.
coming.
You didn't see that coming, bro?
Not at all. And I was looking at you.
He's got that on the teleprompter. My favorite. My favorite. My favorite.
So,
No, seriously, my favorite.
oh, man. That's
been my favorite.
This guy
man.
loves Puerto Rican boxers.
Love that guy.
So the only person that loves Puerto Rican boxers more than Hopper is you, Manny. So now look, I know
Are
not
you
easy.
talking about all the Puerto Ricans that fought this year, including prospects or anyone out there?
just
or the
who's
one
your-
that's got the most potential to be a next champion? Or
Yeah, I mean, just like for Manny.
I honestly, it's a unanimous right now for me, and I have to say it's Sander Sayas. I love his focus. I love his the way that he projects himself going into the ring. He draws the attention. People don't know them. I actually had the opportunity. Yes, we did. LongLiveBoxing had the opportunity to be one of his fights, and people
Greatest interview ever.
The only thing,
Oh hell yeah!
the only thing people know about him, he's the youngest signing for Tom Pranks, and then all of a sudden they're starting to understand why. And so he's exciting. He's going to draw a lot of attention. It'll be a while before he'll be in contention. for the
deserved?
world
Dude,
champion.
do people know about the story? What happened to me and Xander in New York when I went to the? Let me tell you.
I don't think you've ever said it on there.
I don't think I ever have. When I went to go
Well,
last year,
you guys know in the episode we kind of were bashing around back and forth with the Puerto Rican rivalry, and then something
Coach-
happened. I was bullied, and I said, "I'll get you back." We got him back, but he also got
I
back
asked
again.
him. I asked Manny. He was all on Xander. Blah blah blah. Xander this, Xander
It was
that.
out of control, man.
And then I asked him, "How
Hopper
many
had to check
fights
his
do
ass.
you think until Xander gets beat by a Mexican?" Manny turned redder than his
I sure
sweatshirt.
did. We had Christine next to
Yeah,
me.
and
Shout out
he
to
turned
you, Coach
so
Christine.
red, like you could see. He turned. I'm gonna slap you with it.
I'm gonna slap it. I'm gonna show this video,
But
which I did.
We played it for
Yeah,
Xander
we
when we
played it.
interviewed him. He laughed it off. He's
Kinda.
wise beyond his years.
and then
Well,
even on the
fast-
intro, it says, maybe with the
maybe
Mexican.
with a Mexican. Well, that's why he's bringing it up. See, little backstory of EnVivo LongLiveBoxing. Well, fast forward to last year, 2019, December, when I went to New York to watch Terrence Crawford versus Mean Machine. There was a lot of Puerto Ricans on the undercard. Berlanga was on there, and some others. And Xander was there. And I saw him at the bottom of the crowd because I had floor seats, and he was not too far away.
Check him out.
Excuse me.
Get out the way.
We all pitched in for that, brothers.
In vivo,
And so then I was screaming, Xander, but he didn't see me. But his partner did. And so I'm just sitting there afterwards. I didn't think much of it.
Were you eating nachos?
Maybe a few. No, I was actually eating some popcorn and drinking a beer and just there chilling. When all of a sudden, an arm comes over my shoulders, and I hear, "Ain't no Mexican beating me." And I look, and it's Xander freaking Zayas giving me a
Amazing.
hug, telling me that no Mexican is beating him.
Yeah.
I immediately just, Xander! I got so excited just watching him. And then his partner explained that, I saw your shirt. I didn't, Xander didn't see you, but I did. I saw your shirt. It's like, look, it's the guy from LongLiveBoxing.
The crazy
And
dude.
they went over there, and Xander, you're amazing. Thank you
Yeah.
for that. It's a memorable moment I will never forget.
No, it's
And
been a really good road.
He's awesome. He's a great
us,
guy.
and for his family, amazing family, dad, mom, and everyone out there. And he's got a bright future, bright career.
We do expect a lot, and I know that he's actually putting a lot of work in the gym right now.
I mean, he's got a
Javier
great team.
Centeno has an amazing building an amazing stable right now with possible future champs. We did talk about Camboso. We also saw Emmanuel Tago also fight. He performed very well in his fight. Second fight in the U.S. and it's been a while he hadn't fought in the U.S. But he's the African king, and so many others that are actually joining along with the manager, Peter Khan as well. So
Shout
this
out
is
Peter Khan.
exciting moments, exciting stuff, and thanks to him, we learned some of these up and coming guys. The Josue Vargas, and some of these other guys that are actually, even talked about Berlanga when you listen to the video.
Right.
So we actually really learned, and it gave me like a fresh breather to believe that Puerto Rican boxing will be back, and we're actually seeing the fruit of that now.
I'm waiting for it, Manny.
I'm waiting
for it. I'm waiting because there's a lot of Mexicans. They're ready.
They are, and I can't wait to really talk
really are.
a lot about top.
Next year, our conversations are going to be
fantastic. Because
Man, there's going to be a lot of violence.
There's
in
going to be a
the
lot of
studio.
great.
Get ready,
You're going to have to
Spider.
sit over there.
Yeah,
Because
I'll be the referee.
boom, boom, ding, ding.
All right,
But,
so
love and respect for them, because the reality is this is a time that these guys
yeah,
are just
the Puerto Rican wave is
seeing.
here.
It's
So-
here.
And it's coming.
So I love the passion, and I can definitely tell that you're excited, and there's a lot of reason to be hopeful and feel good about what's going to happen. Now, from the standpoint of the fandom in Puerto Rico, that they're really passionate, and what I've learned as far as as we've covered and talked about their fighters, they have high expectations. Does that concern you from the standpoint of these young champions, these young lions, that too much pressure may be put on them, like Capu and Nestor and all these guys, Omar, Brian, that
The Adorno bros.
the
felt
Adorno's
pressure.
brothers. I mean,
Verdejo felt the
Supernova.
pressure being
There
compared
is
to
pressure.
Trinidad.
Definitely Xander.
Yeah, there is a lot of pressure.
Xander has the goods, though.
Yeah,
That,
there is a
Xander
lot of
seems like
pressure,
generational
but I
talent.
think when they're so young at the stage that they still live with mom and dad, and mom understands, the potential and how to guide them and continue to make sure they focus on the right things, because a lot of the stuff happens, all of a sudden these kids are starting to fight, making $5,000-$10,000 per fight. Then they get some big contracts, then they side with promotions, and that's when things starting to go a little bit south. But when you think about the way that they've been developed for the last 3-4 years, the mentality is completely different. We know we can make a lot of money, but we need to really put the work behind the scenes. And we've seen for a fact Capu Gonzalez, another great talented Puerto Rican boxer.
My favorite.
It's a very tough division
Love
at the
Capu.
126, especially now having Navarrete going in there. He's aspiring to be, world champion, and eventually if Navarrete never moves up, he eventually is going to have to meet him if he continues his trend. So
Might be a problem there.
Might be a problem. But there are actually potentials out there. We have another good boxer. We've seen him. His performance was okay in the last fight, but I think he can give a little bit more in that. Supernova. He's going to have He's going to have a legitimate chance, probably contend, for a title at the 130 eventually, sooner rather than later. So, their mindsets, and we talked about them, and we see how respectful they are, very Christian, very educated individuals. That
Very smart,
they
very
understand.
wise beyond
so
their years.
I think
Very
that's
polished.
the difference maker. The problem is, and
polished,
maybe
great
a little
word.
bit different from the questions you ask, is these are some of the boxers that are actually outside. I think we could compare Moncho Lebron. I think we can compare Capo Gonzalez, Brian Hunter. We could say Omar Rosario. We could say Infrevien, which is another very talented kid. Pupilo Collazo, which we talked about. Impressive knockout, first round knockout for Pupilo Collazo. Second fight, yes, the other guy was, it was his pro debut. Guys, this is his second pro fight, and this is a Pan American gold medalist. And so there's a lot of potential to these kids that actually currently live in Puerto Rico. And there's a lot of Puerto Ricans out there who they know more about the local Puerto Ricans they live there rather than those who they moved away for training purposes when they started their career, or they actually were born in the States and their parents are, fully from Puerto Rico. So they tend to understand a little bit more what happens inside. If you talk about a lot of people, Danielito Zorrilla, another impressive knockout in the second round Saturday, direct to be Miguel Cotto and H2 Entertainment, another great card coming back in Puerto Rico.
Fans enjoyed it. It was a fantastic night Saturday. A lot of people missed it because we had the Spence and Garcia card. But when you talk about Danielito Zorrilla, this is another kid that people know and have hopes in him. His work ethic, the way he commits to the sport and to the people. That's what captures, a fan base. Mm-hmm. And so, when you look at, and there's more. There's actually a lot of other different fighters that are actually, trying and pursuing to become a world champions. But
right.
To your question, there's always going to be that concern. And, money talks, but at the same time, if you're not ready for that stardom, it can actually knock you down real quickly.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, there's expectations out there, but the expectations are set for, they want you to reach a goal, and you have to execute. You have to be able to perform. So we talked about all the amazing fighters, that have so much potential out there, and, they can become champions.
They will become champions.
They will.
Now, I know that
unless they run into Mexicans.
Oh, here we go. I thought you were your favorite fighters.
They are my favorite fighters.
Until they fight.
Until they fight a Mexican.
Fight.
All right.
But
truth comes out.
And there's still a lot of fighters that we haven't, talked about. For instance, Brian Ceballo. He's another undefeated kid 12-0, 6 knockouts.
You haven't even talked about Verdejo.
Nope. Verdejo, he's already a well-known established
right?
guy.
Yeah, okay.
Exactly. But Brian Ceballo just captured the Walter Intercontinental WBO champion, beating Larry Gomez. With a
not Larry Gomez.
Larry Gomez.
The Larry Gomez.
By
Larry Gomez.
Unanimous decision. I mean, these are some great, potential fighters that can definitely continue to, bringing the sport, boxing back in Puerto Rico, and, legends such as Cotto and what other stuff they're doing out there. And Verdejo is a little bit different story. Verdejo is that story that you can crash, but you can get your act together again, you do the right, and now you're back to stardom. I just hope he learned from that. Now he's got the biggest opportunity right now against Nakatami. He wants to make sure he makes a statement by knocking him out. I think he has a chance. We gave it a unanimous decision.
If he beats the guy that struggled, that Teofimo struggled with,
he's got a very, very good chance to do it. Even if he doesn't knock him out, I think if he beats him convincingly and demonstrates his boxing skills. And I look forward, honestly, like I said, I say unanimous decision, but I look forward to see the accuracy of his punches. He throws a lot, but he misses a lot of punches. So, and that's some of the things that I know that he was working with Ismael Salas.
Man, I almost want to go live when that fight comes on, because I know you're going to be
I'm ready.
Anxious as hell. I know when my brother Manny and he was so excited that the phone overheated and it shut off.
Completely.
We went live for the Teofimo Lomachenko fight. This would probably be like tenfold.
Yeah.
So really though, going into the fight, I mean, how do you feel? I mean, we made predictions, but predictions are one thing, but the emotion of that prediction. I mean, do you feel good about it?
I feel good, man. I mean, here's the thing, though. A lot of people don't know about Ismael Salas. Ismael Salas used to train Unified Champion. I forgot the name of him. Oh, my God. But anyway, he had his gym in Japan. When Nakatami started fighting, he started training in that same gym. So he understands Nakatami. He knows how good he is, but he also knows his his deficiencies. So as a elite trainer, which I consider Ismael Salas an elite trainer, from one of the countries that sport of boxing was born, Cuba. I think that he's got a slight advantage to that, and the way he's able to give that mental focus to the boxers and stick to a game plan. And when you have the power to back that up, and then you have the mindset behind in the corner leading you throughout the training camp as well, man, I mean, the odds are just. I mean, it's just there's no other way to look to expect.
He trained
expect.
Rigando,
is there going to be
Gamboa?
Is there going to be a lot of
Linares.
disappointment if he doesn't look good? Yes, because people are expecting that. The hype that was built years ago for Verdejo, now people are starting to say, yeah, let's do it. And there's going to be people criticizing. There's going to be people analyzing and saying all kinds of things. But at the end of the day, he's absolutely right. He was interviewed this last week, and he said, I need to make a statement. I need to knock this guy out to show that I'm still the guy that can beat any of the current champions right now, which
I mean, that's a bold statement, especially in the division he's in. But what do you think about that? I mean, as a supporter of him, does that hell yeah, get you fired up? Or
it does. It does get me fired up because I want to have more confidence that things are going to happen. And everything that I read about it, on the positive side of it, and what are some of his advantages, it gets me more excited. I'm ready to see I'm ready to see a Puerto Rican champion shine. I'm ready to see
Me
a people's
too.
champion. We all are. And
Well, not really.
other than Bimbito Mendez at the straw weight,
Bimbito.
Bimbito, we love you, man. You're the heart right now. You're the only champ.
That's it.
And right now I think
the
you
men.
need someone that can, sit next to you and say, we got another champion. We've had some opportunities. A couple opportunities that didn't kind of go through, went good. But El Perrito, fighting New Year's, in Japan. And that was a good opportunity. He just couldn't make it, and it's a little bit frustrating. And some of the other guys have lost, and I just want to bring to you guys, someone that it was a very disappointing fight for him and for a lot of his fans, because we felt like this was the strongest welterweight that Puerto Rico has right now, and that is Derek Cuevas. Derek Cuevas has been fighting for the last 5 fighters that had more than 35 fights in experience. He's been dominating them completely. He had a brutal battle against tough, Mexican Jesus Alberto Beltran. At that time, he was 17-1. For the WBA Fedelatin Welter title. And after that, he came back and fought Javier Mercado. 26 fights, 15 losses. I mean, we're talking about a lot of experience in there. And then he comes Friday against Damian Ezekiel Bonelli. And Pretty Boy just didn't really look good at all.
When you say don't look good, like, what do you mean?
He could never get anything going. He couldn't lead with a jab. He was getting hit. It was a split decision. But, I was looking for ways to see. Let me go back and see some of the other rounds to see if I can score it a little bit different, because, that excitement you're telling me. I want him to win. I want to give, some benefits in this round. And I just couldn't. When he started kind of shining a little bit, he got careless a little bit. He got caught a couple of times. It wasn't really him. And I don't know if the pandemic did affect him or not, but this was a guy that, had a lot of promise at the welterweight division. And so, Bonelli was just the better man that night. And I think he was well-deserved the victory. What does that do to the number 13 rank in the WBO that had many opportunities to start fighting top 10 guys at the welterweight division? And when you look at, especially with the WBO, when you look at the welterweights, you have opportunities with Sergey Lipinets. You have even Ennis was probably, somewhere around there. Any other top 10 guys on the WBO, that would have been a great opportunity for him. And unfortunately, it was all gone. I'm not saying he won't have a future opportunity, but you know how difficult it is right now at the welterweight to even get to an opportunity.
We spent an episode talking about
we sure did.
difficult to welterweight.
We sure did. But the hope was that there at least there are diamond belts around them with the
JC Benny's or the
aluminum.
No, but and that does really back him up, and it's going to be a little bit uphill battle for him to finally eventually get another opportunity. He'll get back, but it's going to be an uphill battle for him. So that's been like one of the disappointments for me throughout the year, and I know we never really dove into Derek Cuevas, but when you see this kid, you can see that he's got some stardom. What happened to him? Unfortunately, I don't know.
I mean, yeah, fighters have bad nights, and it's disappointing, especially when there's an opportunity bestowed to them, and you want to have them do well and be successful. I guess my question is, and I love the optimism and the hope. What's the path, and what would Manny? We know, what I consider a successful year, for that wave to really be considered a hit, but what would be a successful 2021? So
a successful 2021
in terms of Puerto Rican boxing.
I want to see more fights, and I think we did see a lot of them this year. Thank God for Telemundo, that started with the bubble. They got the hang of it. PBC came in with this bubble. They were successful to it, and even Puerto Rico right now, Miguel Cotto in this last weekend, they were successful to it. So they already learned what they need to do to continue to keep these guys active.
Exposure.
There are so many of them in Puerto Rico we still haven't talked about. There's so many of them, but it's very difficult to get sparring. Very difficult to commit to 100% to a training camp when you're limited to certain things. And so with that, you're locked in for a while. And so I I want to be able to see more, a little bit more of what we saw this year. I'm pleased. I'm pleased, and I know we talked about this in the previous episodes. You guys were pleased. You guys have no patience, but I was pleased with what I did.
We're
see.
haters. Hot damn.
no
As it pertains to Puerto Rico boxing, I think I was very pleased with what I was able to witness this year. We learned a little bit more about Moncho Lebron, that's Capa's cousin. We also were able to get some of these guys on the show. Shout out to them. And we're actually, excited because I know for a fact that all these talents are going to start to emerge. And all of a sudden, it's like, how do these people come out all of a sudden? Am I going to see another champion next year? I hope so. We'll see. There's quite a few guys out there who have a legitimate opportunity. I thought that the fight against Oquendo and Jamel Herring was a pretty good one. Unfortunately, it is what it is, and it happened. But that was a pretty good chance to do so as well. So we'll see, man. I mean, Pitufo Dia going back to 122 too. Yeah. And that's another good opportunity. Is he 122, 124?
124.
124. So is he the next one? He's probably 2 fights away, I would say.
So, kind of putting you on the spot a little bit because that's what I do. Kind of getting ready to close this episode out because I've enjoyed it. But I would like to know, the world is listening. The world is watching, Manny.
El mundo.
Which?
The Filipinos are watching too.
Literally.
So they're Mexicans.
Which
let me add some more Tabasco
would mean more. Which would mean more to you? A Berlanga title in 2021, or we're not going to even talk about what belt or sanctioned body, just a title, or a Verdejo.
Verdejo.
Yeah,
because
I mean,
he was born in New York, right?
Yeah, but still,
Verdejo is
Berlanga, but still, Berlanga will be an icon. Berlanga will be loved by the Puerto Ricans because regardless of where you were born, I mean, your parents are Puerto Rican, and where he's at, is pretty much most.
It's funny because the Mexicans don't feel that way.
It's a little bit different.
The Mexicanos, if you're born in the United States,
you're Chicano.
The Chicano, the Mexicanos, they don't necessarily view you as one of them. Really? Sometimes a little bit, yeah. And unless you're born in Mexico,
even if your parents,
no, it's different. Yeah, it's a different dynamic. Yes, they'll root for you, but they don't necessarily. It's different. Interesting.
I would love
random
for the better.
Hey, I love it.
For the better of the sport, for the better of the sport, and to continue to bring back not only Puerto Rico boxing but boxing across the world. I think we need Berlanga up there. The only problem is that I have is he'll probably have to wait a little bit, especially now that the WBC decided to include the title with Caleb Smith. So that title is no longer going to be vacant. Someone's going to win it. So, it'll be a while, but I think he's going to.
Feels about that.
I think he's going to start.
Another bell for Canelo.
Yeah, another bell for Canelo.
Unified.
Oh, was it emailed?
No, I don't think it'll be. No.
I mean, he's gonna have to beat.
It was fax over,
and he's gonna have a challenge, and we
Instagram.
IG me, baby.
Instagram.
Oh my goodness! But
for
the better of the sport, I think Berlanga.
Gave it a like.
Having said that, if Verdejo is able to have an impressive win tomorrow night, I think that
we're not gonna be able to tell you nothing.
His next fight,
I know, right?
Next fight could be.
I'm gonna check up on him tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, I am thinking about maybe we should go live for that fight. I mean,
I'm up. I'll be home. I'll be cooking some ribs.
It's funny, not
ribs.
funny, mocking you, but your
rice
passion.
and beans.
When man,
he just got distracted.
Focus, Sean. Focus. Damn it. So when we went live for the fight. What's funny is people were interacting with us a lot. Manny wasn't talking to anybody. Manny was just, come on. I'm like, Manny, what you thinking of the round? Come on. I'm like,
yes, what's up?
Jogging around. Are you having a stroke? Come on, man.
You okay?
I'm like,
let's do it.
Are you enjoying it?
I'm up for it. I'm up for it. I
don't know if I can handle. Can you imagine how hype he's gonna be, Hopper, for that fight versus Nakatani if he wins?
Woo! I mean,
What if he loses?
Well, I mean, that's a chance there.
He's a good fighter.
Will the live get cut automatically?
This is his biggest test after the Salido fight too. You know, I mean, and right now they brought him up a little by little, and
Are you emotionally ready for that?
Now, I am. I'm super extremely ready. I'm very confident because of the stuff that I told you earlier. I am extremely confident. I know he's going to win tomorrow. I just don't know it's going to be really showcase himself.
Prop bet.
I want him to really, I want him to really
balls.
showcase his boxing skill.
Done.
Because it's more than power. And in order to beat Teofimo Lopez,
Loser goes fat.
in order to beat Teofimo, in order to beat Teofimo, to beat the paper champions that are out there,
Email champion.
even a Tank Davis. By the way, if he gets up there in the 135s and stays there, it's tough to beat this guy. And matter of fact, if he doesn't win that convincingly, he's going to probably have to fight again, and he's going to have to prove himself. Because Teofimo wants to fight the best if the money is right, and that's the thing. But he would still want to fight that. That draws attention, and it will draw so many pay-per-views. Which, by the way, Bob, it's going to be free. Thank you. Maybe $5 ESPN in a month. And we're going to witness that. Right? That will be my ideal scenario for 2021 to be able to see big major world title with Verdejo.
There you go, man. It sounds good.
Loved it, man. Loved the recap.
Man, love the recap. I'm excited.
I can't wait.
And I know how Hopper feels, but
I have new favorite fighters.
so many. But seriously, guys,
all of the above.
We do appreciate all the support and love we get from the PR, and the support we get from the fighters and the fight community out of PR has been fantastic, and we truly do. We're joking here, but it's all love. And
I'm not joking.
Yeah,
wow.
My favorite fighter.
Favorite fighter
is Nestor Bravo.
He's my favorite.
Supernova,
Xander,
Omar,
favorite.
Brian.
Favorite.
All of them.
All of them.
Just do F, all of the above.
Favorite.
All of the above. Y como siempre, este show está dedicado a ustedes, los fanáticos que día a día nos siguen en las redes sociales. Acuérdate, dar like, nos ayuda a seguir creando contenido, mi gente. Si tú compartes estos videos, si te suscribes a nuestro canal, eso
mejor.
De verdad que nos da mucha ayuda y nos da esa pasión y ese empuje que necesitamos. No te quites del boxeo. Acuérdate que nunca muere. Somos los tres amigos, LongLiveBoxing en vivo.
3 hermanos.
¡Ay! Hasta luego.